listening to the Soul Ascension Show with Angel Healing founder Calista. Welcome into our sacred space where you can truly be your radiant self. It's time to get inspired, to get creative, to be who you came here to be. Rise and shine. All is here for you.
Hi beautiful souls, welcome to the Soul Ascension Show with me, your host Calista. It feels really good to be back here, back at home, sharing the wisdom of spirit after some time away to have my boys. I'm going to be doing Soul Ascension shows every last Sunday of the month at 8:30 UK time, at night time. And that's going to be for a sacred power half hour as we explore the many realms of consciousness that come forward to support our soul to ascend. For ascension, meaning to raise and awaken our consciousness and expand our awareness into places where we haven't been before, is really the essence why we're all here on earth. Why you came and I came to live a human experience. From that sole purpose, you may also be here to serve, or teach, or learn, or another valued way to contribute. And it's my pleasure to assist you in knowing that purpose and to express it fully with joy and ease and grace. And speaking of grace, our theme tonight centres around the female archangels, a topic that doesn't really get explored that often, but something that I feel is going to come forward more and more and more. So tonight we're going to look at who the female archangels are and how you can best work with them. We're going to look at how you can connect with them energetically, but also ways that you can call them in moment to moment to support your daily life. And for me, this is really important because our angels and spirit guides are not just there to help us to reach a deeper level of meditation or to learn a means of healing. They are there for anything, whether it's to lighten challenges by reminding you to stay centered, or to harmonize a relationship, seeing the other person's point of view and perspective, or maybe just to bring in some fun and some play. And the female archangels especially love to inspire us to see life as a playground, a place to explore rather than a schoolroom where we're just sitting, learning lesson after lesson. Because I don't know if you feel this, but I think spirituality is often way too serious, and it's taught from that Piscean template, the Piscean age, where wisdom is gained through knowledge, not wisdom gained through experience, because we're in a new age, we're in a new 2,000-year-old cycle, the Aquarian age. And how can we gain wisdom through experience? Purely by just getting stuck in and enjoying all that life has to offer. And all that I'm seeing now is my son's Peppa Pig book that I read to him at night time. All the mothers and all the fathers that have children will probably know Peppa Pig. And all I'm seeing is Peppa jumping in muddy puddles. That seems to be her tagline. And truly that's what the angels want to convey. To be silly, to have fun, to be in the moment, and to keep ourselves light if we want to become enlightened. It's really important. So friends, I'm just going to ask you, before we get stuck in and experience who the female archangels are, let's just take a minute to soften and close our eyes. And just take a nice deep inhale into your belly. If it's safe to do so, if you can do this, if you're not driving, please breathe in deeply into your belly now. And then let go, breathing out. Let's do this again. Big breath in, taking that breath all the way down to the bellows of your tummy, letting your tummy expand. And then letting go. One more time, breathing in and exhaling, letting go of your day, of anything yet to do, and just taking the next short while we're together to be present, to draw your energy back from anyone who you've came into contact with today. Wherever your focus or attention's been, just gently bringing that back so you can be here fully and completely. And if you have an intention for tonight's show, even though we're talking about angels, they are going to be very much there with you as you're hearing this radio cast, as they are here right now. So if you have a healing or empowering intention for yourself and your life right now, just saying that to yourself, and then letting it go. Just breathing into your belly one more time, and then letting go. Okay, so I'm going to call forward, they're here already, but just to voice it out, calling forward the female archangels. And I have the privilege of working with 16 of these divine beings in the angel healing system, the angel therapy system that I teach. So we're bringing these forward, especially Lady Faith, the divine counterpart of Archangel Michael, and Lady Virtue, the divine other half of Raphael, and Lady Hope, the divine other half of Archangel Gabriel. And we also call forward to be with us Lady Grace, the divine reflection of Archangel Uriel. And we ask these elemental angels to come forward, to be here and present, and it wouldn't be an angel gathering without Lady Constance, the other half of Metatron, and Lady Patience, the other half of Sandalphron, just asking them to be present below us, Patience in the earth, Constance up in the celestial heavens around us, to bring in the highest and best wisdom today at this time, to expand the current knowledge of the female angelics and take us, just like our soul wants to go, to places that we've not been before, to gain wisdom through experience, through being here, through being present. Thank you, and so it is. So in order to explain who the female archangels are, we first have to understand that we are in the age of Aquarius, and this is certainly not the first, and it's certainly not the last golden age of humanity. And every golden age has a central theme. This particular one, for the next 2,000 years, is all about empowerment and consciousness. So even though people often talk about 12-12-12 as that precessional event where the earth shifted from a masculine entity into divine feminine, the age of Aquarius actually started on 11-11-11. That's when we left the Piscean age, whose theme was all about power and hierarchy and everything that we've learned from our parents and our grandparents and back from our ancestors, going all the way back for those 2,000 years, have been tinted by that Piscean frame of reference. But the times are different now. We don't have to be in power to gain knowledge. Information is everywhere at a touch of a button. If we want to know something, it's there. But to embody something, to really learn that wisdom, we have to be in it. We've got to experience it. Likewise, we don't have to be in an organised group like a religion to belong. We just need to recognise that we ourselves are spirit, and therefore we have everything within us to be our true self. So with that knowing, it's easier to understand why there is such a big movement towards personal transformation, like mindfulness seems to be everywhere right now, yoga, meditation, healing, natural foods, self-improvement in general, but also there's this major incline in depression, anxiety, stress, drug use. And this is reflected, this kind of ripples out globally to seeing shifts in civil rights, women's rights, gay rights, Environmental consciousness, global consciousness as a whole is expanding. And on the flip side to that, we're seeing a rise in terrorism, politics, racism, and in general this fear of the other, this xenophobia seems to be blanketing so many. And as history tells us, all shifts in consciousness bring out the best and the worst in humankind. And you may see this in your own life, in your personal community around you, maybe friends and yourself. You are embracing the Aquarian age by opening your heart, by following the voice of your soul to make radical changes in career or relationships, really catalysed by what your soul is telling you. And then those around you who are not embracing the change, who maybe are fearing it, don't understand, judge that. Then they don't understand why you've made such big shifts. And often these people as well, a lot of spiritual people, don't seem to want to embrace the Aquarian age, this new golden age. They want to kind of hold on to past golden ages like Atlantis or Lemurian times, and that's fine, but it definitely won't propel them forward. They were golden ages, but more advanced technology-wise than consciousness and empowerment, which is our theme. But we just have to realise what is happening to make transformation a less painful process, and one that's not so fearful. And balance is always there for us. So stability, so clarity, and so much joy when we give up this inner struggle of trying to fit in, trying to belong. For me personally, this trying to people please and fit into old Piscean ways of being, and coming from a science background where everything had to be followed in a certain way, it was difficult for me to really embrace the path that I have now of writing and teaching spirituality, which is more free and open. But that was part of my learning. But to help navigate the change, all the shifts that are taking place right now, we have help. We've got help at hand, and they come in today in the form of the beautiful female archangels, who are here in response to the earth herself moving from a dominated masculine hierarchy, and that power struggle of the Piscean age, to the more flowing, intuitive and empowered divine feminine. So in 1111 we entered this Aquarian age, and the rise of the divine feminine really rippled out to everybody, to everyone who was open, to everyone who wasn't open, to the plants, the animals, and even the mineral kingdoms. Even our crystals changed their vibration. They shifted in consciousness. And I don't know if you remember, but from 1111 to 12 it was a really trying time. It certainly was for me. Although I was teaching angel healing far and wide, and it was really soaring, many people come into the system and other systems that I teach. On a personal level, I was going through big shifts, meeting my twin flame, my divine counterpart, and then losing him, and really struggling with kind of piecing myself back together. But in 12 came together to teach the first teacher's degree of the angel healing system. And I was just so warmed by the fact that the female archangels came forward. I'd been working with them for some time, but they really came forward and said, okay, you've been teaching about these 16 archangels for some time. Now we want to be included. We're now in a feminine world, divine feminine world. You're teaching this 5th dimensional plus course. It's time for us to be included. And that was really catalysed by Lady Constance, the divine complement of Metatron. And I say complement because that's really what the female angelics are. They are, if you imagine an angel as a coin has two faces. It's got one side and it's got the other. So the angelics, the female angelics, they're called archaea. The archaea are one side and the archangels are the other. They're really polar counterparts, one masculine and one feminine, but in truth are one entity. I also was working with, before that, to write the Angel Healing System. Who came forward was Lady Virtue, the divine complement of Raphael. And every day working with Raphael and Lady Virtue really was a page of understanding from a book that felt really familiar. And they taught me that, like you, if you're listening to this podcast, I had many lives and many angelic lives. And my past self, that who was still in the Piscean age, would have, said, God, you're so full of yourself, you were an angel, that's ridiculous. But I just let that go and opened up and listened to what they had to say. And it was really interesting. And Lady Virtue and Raphael really taught me about what the Archaea are, what the female angelics are. And this is a little bit about what I want to share. This is from a book that I'm writing, and something that came through from them. So they say, an angel comes into being from unified consciousness to distribute the experience of the divine. In order to achieve the fullest expression of their light, each angel can section off into two polar aspects, one masculine and one feminine. If you're in the midst of an angel before, you may have felt the presence as male or female, or a blend of both vibrations working with you. And how you perceive an angel's vibration depends on what aspect it's lending. For example, when my focus was to learn about spiritual truths beyond the boundaries of my intellect, Archangel Raphael came forward. In other instances, when my goal was to receive healing, Lady Virtue, Archaea Maria, appeared. In most acts of healing, Maria is the force who's assisting. Her soft pink light helps us to heal through the act of forgiveness. And I go on to say, like all the Archaea, her feminine presence gives birth to the masculine, helping us to realize that we are much more than just a branch of creation. We are also creator too, expressing source, God, consciousness, through a physical form. And our purpose as we raise consciousness is to embody our divinity as much as our humanity, valuing and balancing both as one. This seemingly simple truth is fundamental hope that our angels, spirit team and soul wish us to remember. So that's a little passage from a book, Rainbow Rising, which goes into this topic a lot more. We only have half an hour, so I'll do as much as I can. But hopefully that gives you an idea that, in essence, the archangels have came forward and they've been written, and they've been, written in the Bible. The Bible's always referring to he and him, and even Jesus and God as a masculine entity. But times are shifting. There's a Sikh poem that I read most days called the Japji Sahib, and it's part of a holy scripture of the Sikhs, and it's something that's really meaningful to me for Kundalini Yoga that I teach. And the Japji Sahib, like the Bible and other holy scriptures, refers to the presence of the divine as a he, as a masculine entity. But I firmly believe that as time progresses over the next 2,000 years, that will shift. It might even become a her. That might be heresy to a lot of people, but just stay open. Times are changing, and we're just really in the first couple of years of that transition, and that's going to be the most difficult time. So these scriptures might change to her, and they may even go to spirit, which would be even better as a more unified field of consciousness, if that's really a true essence of what God consciousness, divine consciousness is. We might even drop the word Christ consciousness that a lot of people use and just say consciousness. Get rid of that old paradigm. When we look to the things like the Bible, though, I was doing some research for this. There's a part in, I think it's Zechariah 5 of the Bible, references female angels with wings, and also there's part of the Corinthians that represents the Elohim, the creator angels. They are represented in the image of Adam, male, and also in the image of Eve, female. And I can tell you that because I work firsthand with the Elohim, perhaps you do too, the creator angels, they're really important in my path and purpose here on earth. Most of them come forward as female, and they have done since I've started to work with them. So it just, it's just a sign of the times. A question came in: are angels gendered like humans? And that's a really interesting question. So the angels, in essence, there's many different types of angels, but if we look at the branch of archangels and archaea, those that are ambassadors, that reflect our true potential, they reflect us, they reflect the virtues, that which we can aspire to be, that which we are in essence. That's the mirror that they hold. They are spirit. They are not of flesh, they are not of the physical, but they can take a physical form and come in through the many different rays of light to our midst, to our awareness. Just like the ascended masters do, just like Saint Germain or Buddha or Jesus, or those who have mastered physical ascension, who have passed on energetically, but can come back in a physical form. Yes, so in that terms, yes, they can have sex organs. In terms of can angels propagate, I'm not really sure. I've never really investigated that one. There's certainly references in the Bible that of angels who had fallen and made love with human females to propagate the ancient giant races. There's lots that have been documented about that, but again, whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. It's not something I've ever really been interested in. But from a purely energetic point, angels are spirit, but they can take human forms. And they have their own form of sacred union, just like we have a sacred union of our sexuality. And again, that doesn't have to be with a physical partner. We could hold sacred union with ourself. It's like, and we'll do a future show on this, about twin flames. It's really interesting when I started to learn more about the female archangels, the archaea, that my own relationship with my twin flame came to an end in order to really understand what it all means. And what I learned from that experience was that your twin flame really can be anyone that you assign. It doesn't have to be necessarily one being that you believe your soul split from. They went one way and you went the other, and in your last earthly life they come together, like many internet sites and things like that will tell you. I think that's kind of written from a fantastical, imaginative point of view. If you have experienced twin flame union with that which you have declared as your twin flame, and you've separated and then you want that again, but maybe they can't come in for whatever reason, or you have transcended each other, you can affirm another to be your twin flame. And that necessarily doesn't have to be a relationship with another person. It could be with yourself. I know a few months back I affirmed my partner Greg to be my twin flame, and from then on our relationship has just skyrocketed in terms of, well, in many ways, but it's brought up so much as well, because I'm basically declaring, when I'm saying that, he is my polar opposite, and I'm learning all my lessons that I need to learn to balance the divine masculine that he represents within my own consciousness. So that can be done within yourself, just like it happens with angels. In essence, we all begin as whole singular energy that then divides into polarity to expedite the divine plan, to expedite divine consciousness, to expand into where we've not been before. So yeah, leave that one up to you, whether you think that they can, whether they have gender or not. And another question came in: are the female archangels the same as goddesses? In essence of polarity, and in essence of holding a mirror for us to embody our divine feminine, and that's where so many are, because we're in this age of empowerment, this age of knowing our self-worth, of ditching people pleasing and fitting in to some sort of society or structured hierarchy. We are finding ourselves more and more. To enable us to do that, we have to find our self-worth and our self-acceptance and our value. That's really what the female archangels are doing. Goddesses really act like that in the same way. They hold up that divine mirror of the feminine and they counter that with the masculine of God. So yes, in that way they are. We only have a few minutes left, so I want to talk about ways that you can work with the female archangels, the archaea. One, of course, would be to ask them to come in to your meditation, but also just ask them to come into your dreams or your day-to-day life. So you could work with, let's say, Lady Faith. Lady Faith is absolutely fantastic. She's such a go-to, just like most people go when they think about angels to Michael. You can equally go to Lady Faith to help you to have faith in yourself, to help you to see yourself as divine, to know that your contribution that you give to the world, whether you are doing housework or speaking in front of a room full of people, or you're writing a book, or you're with your children, is of great, great value. She helps to bring forward trust and clarity and a deeper sense of being our true self and letting that shine. She's a really good one to call in. And again, just day to day, it doesn't have to be necessarily sitting, writing, channeling her through writing or art or verbal channeling. You can just ask her to come in and inspire your day and just work through your consciousness. And this is really important. It's to, if we were to attune more to the female archangels, a good thing to do is to have a daily sadhana. So a daily spiritual practice, and it doesn't matter if it's meditation, chanting, prayer, contemplation, journaling. What's important is consistency, something that you do every day, a practice that helps you to let go of the fear of change, fear of these shifts in consciousness, and one in which helps you to raise your awareness. So working with the angels, definitely. Kundalini yoga, yes. These are all fantastic. And also to remember that you're spirit and let yourself be spiritually led. Let yourself live your soul day to day and be that instrument of spirit, whether it's to spread light, teach, heal, create something, serve, sacrifice, or just love deeper. Let yourself be spirit led in that way, and that will really, really help. So we're coming to the close of the show. I hope you have enjoyed it, and it's certainly something that I'm going to share more about. And I've got a course in angel healing in Hastings in July. I think it's 15th. Let's just double check. I'm never a good one for sales, but I just wanted to tell you, yeah, it's going to be the 15th of July, Saturday the 15th of July. If you're interested in learning angel healing, learning more about the female archangels, and specifically receiving attunements from the 16, then please do get in touch at facebook.com/Calista Ascension, or you can reach me on calistaascension@gmail.com. And just look to those pages as well on Facebook for more information about angel healing, the female archangels. I'm going to be doing a lot more work, and I'm really looking forward to that. But for now, thanks for listening. If this was of value, please share the podcast on your community pages and your timeline, on social media. And with all my love, take care.
You have been listening to the Soul Ascension Show with your host, Calista. Come join our community page at facebook.com/Calista Ascension. Share your feedback to support others to rise up and shine. Be inspired. Be creative. Be your radiant self. All is here for you.